Alrighty. Um, this video is going to help you with the cross-section pre-lab that you are required to do before doing the actual lab. If you don't do this, then you can't do the lab. So make sure that you obviously do this and find the volume of each solid. We are given x is equal to y squared, and it is bounded with x is equal to 9 right here. And for number 2, we have a cross-section where we have a rectangle with height 2. So this is a height of 2. This is a height of 2. Now, to figure out what my base is, remember that x is equal to y squared looks like this. My diagram is kind of tilted a little bit just so that you can visually see it. But notice how here, this right here is y. This right here is also y, which means that all of your bases for 1 through 10 is going to be in terms of 2y. So looking at number 2 here, where we have a rectangle with height of 2, you know that my area is just going to be 2 times b, or 2 times 2y, or 4y. Now, the important part about this is that your integration needs to be in terms of x because we're going from 0 to 9. So we are going to have to make sure that this right here is in terms of x. Now we know that x is equal to y squared, which means that if we have y, that means that y is the same thing as the square root of x. So my setup for this one right here would be from 0 to 9 of root x dx. And you're just going to have to solve that. Same thing with number 3 here. You know that this right here is y, and this right here is also y, which means that your base is 2y. However, remember that a semicircle, the area of that is 1/2 pi r squared, where r is your radius. But if this is my whole base, then my radius is just going to be y, meaning that area is 1/2 pi y squared, which means that in order to make this in terms of x, we know that y squared is x. So area is the same thing as 1/2 pi x squared. So we are going to take the integral of 0 to 9 of x squared dx, but don't forget about the 1/2 pi or pi over t right here. So that's going to be your setup for number 3, and then you're just going to have to evaluate that. You're going to do the same thing with the quarter circle, except this time, notice how here, this space right here is your radius because it's a quarter circle. So this means that your r value is actually going to be 2y instead of a regular y like number 3 because your base is your radius already. So make note of that for number 4. You should be able to do all of this pretty easily because you're just finding the cross sections, so they're not too hard, hopefully. So make sure that you have this completed before the lab, or else you won't be able to do our lab.